I've been involved with NCCJ since I was a sophomore, and I've been to about 5 Anytowns.
I first got involved in NCCJ through the Bridges program. I think I was in 8th grade. I felt at that point like I wasn't quite ready for the experience of Anytown, but a couple years later I did Anytown, which was really incredible.
I've been involved with NCCJ for 2 years now. I did 2 Anytowns, once as a delegate and once as a counselor. They were both amazing. And I am currently a youth volunteer for NCCJ.
My first meeting with the NCCJ was the Bridges program, and that was back in my sophomore year of high school when I was about 15 or 16. And I have been to 2 Anytowns, and I have facilitated a Bridges program after that.
When I first started Anytown, my first Anytown, I was very quiet. I didn't say anything. I made a couple of friends, but it wasn't like I wasn't really social or anything. But after that first Anytown, I really started blossoming and started to speak my opinions more, became more outspoken. And the next time I went to Anytown as a counselor, Cynthia was like, I don't even recognize you, in the best way possible.
Growing up in a predominantly white town, it took a really long time for me to realize that I am Latina. And when I went to NCCJ ANYTOWN for the first time, it was the first place where I really positioned myself as a Latina and got to be in a group of people with my primary culture group who all identified as Latinx.
ANYTOWN was a place where I learned to accept myself and a place where I learned to feel comfortable in my own skin, and you have to be comfortable with yourself before anyone else can. And so after going to ANYTOWN, I got the courage to be honest with my family and with my friends.
My social justice is one of my deepest passions now, and it just made me realize that, and it was just like a big eye-opener for me, because I truly didn't know my place in this world until I went to ANYTOWN, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm meant to help people. I'm trying to make the world a better place for everyone who looks like me, and if everyone who doesn't look like me.
I had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue what I was really getting myself into, and at first it seems kind of like a far-fetched thing of going to a camp for a week and not really knowing what you're doing, not with a lot of people you know who you're going with. But not only can it be a lot of fun, but it can be valuable because you'll learn things and you'll be in an environment that you've almost never been in before. You'll be accepted for things, you'll accept other people for things, and you'll just be in this climate of just all of these really good vibes. And I think that's what the most healthy thing is about ANYTOWN, is it can really manufacture the idea that not only is human rights and social justice attainable, but it's not just an ideological thing on paper. It can actually happen.
NCCJ definitely had an impact on who I am. I think for me a big part of that was sort of learning what it means to be part of an interdependent community, because I'm not somebody who's very quick to seek support or help. And I think the way ANYTOWN functions is that it's such an intense experience that everyone has to like be there for each other and like accept help and support.
NCCJ made me feel safe and comfortable. When I was there, I felt like my ideas were respected and heard.
And it was just this really transformative experience where I really got to feel like I was a part of my community. And I wouldn't have had that otherwise if it weren't for NCCJ ANYTOWN.
It gave me a community, especially at ANYTOWN, that was safe and understanding. Made me able to have conversations about inequality, whether it was at school with friends or with my family.
And I think a lot of my outgoingness and willing to speak my voice and being more social and friendly with people comes from that first ANYTOWN and all the ones after it.
The NCCJ truly changed my life, has helped me in literally every single aspect of my life. Interviews for jobs, schools, group projects, literally everything. It is an amazing experience I would recommend to anyone.
Being who I am does not make me a bad person. And when I was at ANYTOWN, I learned to feel that from in my heart, and apparently it was evident when I came home because everyone else saw it too.
So I think that the NCCJ is really important, especially in this political climate, to be a space that gives voice to youth and that teaches young people how to harness their leadership skills, how to have a vocabulary to be able to talk to people about social injustice, whether they have the same viewpoint or whether they have very different viewpoints, and having a space where the focus is for youth to feel empowered and take agency of their own futures. That can be really hard to find in certain communities, even certain schools, and so having that safe space for young people is really important.
I think in a time where we're really divided, the NCCJ does its job of not only humanizing those who have gone through trials and just so many arduous moments in their lives, because it's not just on paper, it's not just a thing you watch in a documentary. You get to meet real people and not only network with them, but you get to have a much more closer and intimate relationship with them.
I would say NCCJ is important now because there are many conversations that need to happen, and NCCJ kind of creates that space for those conversations. For example, for youth, we have YAC events where youth can have discussions on anything from mental health to the Black Lives Matter movement to inequality around COVID-19.
I mean, even in the past couple of years or, decade, so much social inequality has been brought to light and stuff. But now more than ever, it's really in the front pages every single day. And before, people, knew about it, but they didn't really talk about it. But now it's in every conversation, and it's important that we talk about those things. And NCCJ is one of the facilitators in those conversations for both adults and the youth. And I think that's amazing.
One of the issues people are thinking about the most is racism within the context of police violence. And NCCJ does a lot of work around racism and sort of getting at the roots of people's ideas and how to change them. And I think that's powerful because I think that can, once you motivate people in that way, I think it can have an impact on the systems of policing and laws, and I think that's super powerful.
In my junior year, I had the honor of winning the Youth Human Relations Award, and it was I was so honored, and it was an awesome experience to be at that banquet and to feel celebrated and to know that all of my hard work and dedication was being validated in some way. And so congratulations to whoever wins, and I hope that this banquet is a huge, huge success.
I usually have a harder time making instant friendships, but my friend Izzy is being honored tonight, and we have been friends for 3 years, and we've probably only seen each other in person for 3 weeks or something like that, maybe even less. So congratulations, Izzy.